And that's it. Hopefully, we are now live.
There's four of us. Hello.
Hopefully. Hello. Look, I'm very, very formal again. Look, I've got my name.
Anybody there?
Yeah, you guys know the drill. If you're there, say a hello so that we know that we're not talking to no one. Well, we're quite happily talk to each other. I'm going to be very rude and get my phone out so I can get it on the screen so that I know it's all working properly.
You know where mine is.
Facebook users again.
Yeah.
There we go. So we've got Sue, Helen and Jay. Hello, hello, hello. If you don't give permission to StreamYard, it comes up for us as Facebook users, so we don't know who it is. So if we're impolite, that's why. Hi, Lily.
My phone's not playing ball.
Yeah, techie stuff. Techie.
Oh, it does, yeah. I would have this.
Heather went for a spinny then. Hello, Maria. Welcome. Hello, Maria. Yeah, we're all good, thank you. Well, as good as anyone can be in the circumstances at the moment, but onwards and upwards. We're getting there, I think, is the best way of putting it, isn't it?
Oh, well done, Helen.
Helen's done it. Yes, we can see your name. Hi, Diane. Hi, Nadine. Yeah, we're all, it's Sunday afternoon. We're chilling, chatting with you. Heather's got a cup of tea. Heather's going to have a nap. I've got Bazzy next. I can see Bazzy's bottom.
Oh, bless her. Look.
She's very, very unimpressed with it all.
Ember's out with Rob, so it's all quiet here.
It's all quiet. Hello.
Where's peeling spuds?
Oh, well, it's Sunday, isn't it? Sunday dinner. Hello to Anne, Layla, Lani, Barbara.
Hi, Lani.
Hello, hello. Peeling spuds. Take me about an hour to get to you, Maria, but be ready by then, won't it?
Hi, Sue.
It'll take me a lot longer to get to Barbara's in North Carolina. And we're looking at, yes, Sue, we can see your name too. It's one of those Facebook things. It doesn't talk to the software unless you say to the StreamYard software, yes, you may print my name. Hello to Melissa. Melissa has learned a new word today, sprinter, a combination of winter and spring. That's what it feels like at the moment.
That's what it's like at the moment, isn't it? Definitely.
Definitely is, definitely. And good afternoon to Martina. It is a beautiful sunny day down here in the south of England as well. Very, very spring-like out there, although some of the plants are suffering from last week when we had snow and frost. Some of them have really struggled. Maria says you don't want to come here. It's a silly place. I must admit London isn't my most favourite place in the world, but I think that stems back to me having worked there in my late teens. It's left me with an impression, I think. No, we'd come and see you, Maria, not London, just you. Because it's been a while.
Absolutely. That was the last time we went out, was to see Maria.
It was, wasn't it? We went to Treadwells, didn't we? A trip up to London. That was just before the first lockdown, wasn't it? And we were pressing buttons with sleeves on the train and all the hand sanitizer. And that was before masks and everything, wasn't it? Yeah. How far we've come, eh? Or something like that. Good afternoon to you, Joe. Martina is stuffed from first pub lunch. Oh, fantastic.
Oh, lovely.
I've had a coffee and a cake, but I haven't actually had lunch outside yet. It does feel a bit cold for that. Pub lunch, yum. Although we have made quite good use of the takeaways in the lockdown, but there you go. So it's actually what we're going to be talking about today in a kind of roundabout way. We thought, I think it was Ness's idea, wasn't it? Self-care today.
Yeah, it was the idea for our sort of vlog last month or this month.
Sue says, might you be doing another student Zoom sometime? Talk to a diary, lady. There's a question for you, Ness.
Yeah.
What do you want us to talk about, Sue?
Yeah, go for it.
Give us a subject.
We'll leave it with Ness, our diary organizer, Sue, and we'll get something booked. So, yes, absolutely.
We can do that.
Diane, we're still stuck with takeaway only in Wales. So if we want coffee out, it comes in a paper cup. Yes, in fact, all of the places pretty much local to me are just takeaway at the moment because there's nowhere you can sit outside, really. Although my husband they played their first gig last night outside in the pub car park in the freezing cold. Normally he comes back and he's drenched in sweat because he's absolutely boiling hot and it was so warm. And he came back last night and he was frozen stiff. Fingers like icicles. Yeah, it was a bit cold.
Oh, yeah.
Outside. When
that sun goes in, that's it. The temperature really drops still at the moment.
It does. So yeah, I think self-care is probably something that we're all really bad at anyway. Generally, we're all pretty looking at all of us. I am looking at all of us. But I think we are, aren't we? We work or we have families or we have things to do, and we've always got a lot going on. And it's very easy to take on too much and forget that actually you're the key pin of it all. And it's very easy to run yourself down energy-wise and health-wise, which actually is counterproductive because then it leaves you useless to looking after everybody else. But I think we all do it. I think we're all guilty of doing it at some time or another, aren't we? So we will chat today about ways of self-care. And I think as well, we're probably going to touch on something a little bit scary for me anyway, which might not seem like it, but we're starting to go back out into the big wide world now. Having spent, 18 months really? Not going out, I haven't been in a shop since, we were just saying, last time we went out as a group was to London. So that's March, not last year, the year before. That's right, isn't it? Last year. Yeah. Oh, I've lost track of it. Yeah, last year. I lost track of it. So 18 months pretty much. We haven't seen each other really in an outdoor going shopping. We met up a couple of times, didn't we, in a big field at picnics. But I actually shopped. I've not been in a supermarket since the very first lockdown. I've been in a couple of garden centres. That's pretty much about it. So it's actually quite scary going back out into places with people, really. So I think it's about confidence and courage as well to get back into, and I don't want to use the word normal because I'm not even sure that we are really getting back to normal just yet, are we? It's going to take a while to get back to what we perceive as normal. But it's weird. It's a weird feeling to be getting back out there. Good afternoon, Melanie. I'm just springing down here, looking at the other comments, just refresh that. Went to Southampton, Lani, went to Southampton on Friday with Zoe, and oh my days, the queues were totally crazy. Yeah. So going out by myself seems scary now. Yes, never used to feel like that. Most strange. Yeah, I absolutely, Sue, absolutely. It does. It is getting back into the confidence of doing things that we used to do, really. And as Lani said, the queues, yes, we drove past the barbers last Monday when the shops will open, and there was a queue about 10 or 12 people outside the barbers and must have been 20 or 30 people outside TK Maxx clothes shops queuing up
crazy,
to go
yeah.
in.
And I saw Primark, the Portsmouth Primark on Facebook.
I saw that. Yeah,
They were beyond, almost to the railway station.
Mad.
Absolutely
Mad.
insane.
Barbara says, first time I went back to the grocery store, I had the worst panic attack. Yeah, and I absolutely understand that, Barbara. I really do, because that's why I haven't been in the supermarket. We've been lucky, really. We've been able to get deliveries and any odd bits. My big brave husband's been up to the corner shop to get odd bits and pieces. And we are lucky in that the milkman and veggie box man have delivered most of their stuff. But it is very, very strange feeling. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel stepping back into a grocery store, I must admit. I'm a little bit nervous, even when we've been walking the dog locally and we've sort of passed people on a narrow pavement. You get that kind of, oh, are they going to move?
Yeah.
Am I going to move? Do I hold my breath when I walk
Do a
past?
bit of a dance in the middle, don't you? It's,
very,
yeah.
very uncomfortable.
It is sort of small steps. I think going somewhere perhaps that is going to be quiet. I mean, we went to a garden centre in the week that we knew that many people didn't go to, and I think it is taking small steps. We've started going. We were doing online click and collect. When the numbers really come down a couple of weeks ago, we decided to go back out to our local grocery shop, and it was okay. We've now changed the day to the beginning of the week, and we know it's a lot quieter.
Right.
So it is changing things slightly so that we can ease ourselves back into it.
I think you've hit on a word there too, is change, isn't it? I was saying this to my husband because right at the beginning of it all, he started working from home, and that was a big change for us because he's always worked in an office or out of the home forever. And I worked at home for the last sort of 10 or 12 years. So it was a really big change for our working system. Well, the whole dynamics, really, for both of us then to be home. He's now actually going to be working at home indefinitely now. That's a big, so we're changing again from this is temporary to this is now permanent. And then he's gigged his entire life, pretty much every weekend. And of course, that all stopped. And then we got into a routine of him being home all weekend, every weekend. Now that's all starting back up again. So you've got another change. You just kind of get into a routine and then it all changes again. So I think it is about, yes, it's adjusting, isn't it, to these sometimes quite big changes in short periods of time, really. Helen says, I've never liked the general public. No. I think we're all with you on that one, Helen.
Yeah.
At the best time. So I'm sad it's going back to
two peoply is one of my phrases.
It's been so nice being quieter and less rushed at the shops. I think that's, isn't it? I do, although I say going back to normal, perhaps it shouldn't go back to how it was. Perhaps there should be or will be changes of some sort. I don't know. Diane says, I won't queue for much, but most certainly not for a cheap T-shirt. No, I'm with you there, Diane. I am with you there. It does seem a little bit mad, doesn't it? But I wonder whether it is that or whether it is just people missing going out to the shops. I don't know. I've missed going out to charity shops and having a bit of a rummage round, I must admit. Good afternoon, Teresa. Lily says, here in the US, everyone is getting out. Some of the mask mandates are lifted, like in my state, but businesses are encouraging mask use anyways. I understand how nerve-wracking it is to go shopping, especially when it was really bad here. Yes, I think that for us, it is literally just this past Monday that the retail shops, general retail shops, have been allowed to open, but it is still masks. Everyone has to still wear masks. And that's absolutely fine with me. Everything that can be done really to make it safe, because we're not out of the woods yet, but it's a step, isn't it? It's a step in the right direction, and a relief as well for the businesses. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Maria says, I've been to the supermarket every week lately when I'm well enough, but it doesn't feel normal. But you know me, I'm a rebel. Absolutely. But I think it depends on your situation too, doesn't it? I think, Sue, you've been out to the supermarkets throughout, haven't you? Because necessity as well, isn't it?
I mean, it's been okay. I think people have been more careful, but we went this morning early. Well, they didn't open until 10 o'clock. And it was horrible, absolutely horrible. It was so packed. I couldn't bear it. It's only up until this week it's been quiet.
Yeah, I think people have. I think the vaccine, although it is obviously another step in the right direction, I wonder if it's also made a lot of people think, right, I've had the first vaccine, I'm fine now. It doesn't work. Doesn't work like that. But I wonder if it's given people a little bit of extra confidence. I don't know. I don't know. So that's an interesting one. Sue says it almost has changed our identity. Yeah, I still don't like lots of people. No, not lot. That came out wrong. I still don't like big groups of people. Yes.
I know what you mean.
I've got my list. Like that one. Yes, I think it probably has. It does. Yeah, and I think as generally a confident person, I am now very worried about going out into places that never would have worried me before, because we've had such a long period of time at home, or worrying about catching anything if you go out. It does affect us.
But don't you think, on the other hand, as well, so many businesses have had to close? My local town and the next town to it, that so many shops have closed down through this. In fact, I had to pop into town yesterday. What time did I go? Afternoon. And it was absolutely packed, and it just people walking about. But I only went in Holland and Barrett, and I was the only one in there, which was nice. But the queues outside some of the other shops, I wouldn't queue for them. But there's so many that have closed as well. But it's nice for the shops to get the business back now as well. Yes. Especially the independent shops.
Yeah, they probably struggle more, I would have thought, wouldn't they? So that's Lani. Lani said, hubby has been working all through every lockdown. Yes, myself and my husband have as well. We've both worked the whole way through. We weren't put on furlough at all. Hubby's been working all through every lockdown, has been the one to go out and get the food shopping. So we have been lucky. Yes, we've been really lucky. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. The Milkman and Riverford veggie boxes were a lifesaver, literally, for us, because they both kept delivering throughout, particularly through the first lockdown, which was really tough. But yes, we've worked all the way through it as well, luckily from home. Melanie says, I hate shopping, so not missed it at all. Yes, I must admit, shopping is not my favourite thing, unless I'm, at Witchfest or the Enchanted Market and I'm wandering around all the stalls looking at nice witchy things. I don't like general shopping. Garden centre, or yes, but love the charity shops. I must admit, Melanie, that's one of the things I've really missed, is having a good route through the charity shops. It's things you miss, but we've had to deal with it, really, haven't we? Which is missing stuff. Lani says, I do wonder if we will ever be able to go back to how things were before. Do you know, it's interesting. I wonder what major changes. There's bound to be some left over, isn't there, from all of this? I don't know what it would be. Different ways of working, different ways of doing things, maybe. I would imagine there's going to be a lot more online shopping. People have done it, so they'll stick with online. Yeah. I'm hoping there'll be some positives. One of the things I started doing was finding local suppliers, online or otherwise, and I will continue to do that. It was easier to get my flour from an online supplier because the supermarkets ran out in the first lockdown, and I've continued to buy it from them. So hopefully there will be some small independents that will benefit from it. More local shopping with smaller independents, hopefully. Yeah, I think there will be some changes. Diane says, I know what you mean, though. I like my people, but everyone else should be avoided. Yeah, with you there, Helen. With you there.
It's very strange when you see things on television and there's people, you know, a television program, for example, and there's all people grouped together in pubs or football grounds, and you think, wow, just weird things you just used to take for granted and just did. And
do you
now,
think it's
bizarre.
Do you think it's weird though to see the television programs where they've got masks on too? Like some of the series we've been watching, NCIS for one, they've now got masks on, and I don't. Is that weird, or is that they're kind of keeping with the current?
It's still strange, isn't it?
Still strange. Karen says, I've been out all of the time, but once a week very early when no one's been there. Yes, but I had COVID badly in March to April last year and knew I had some immunity. But I get panic attacks sometimes in the supermarket or in the night in bed. It's weird. Not weird at all, Karen. I think we're all with you on that one. I think it is something that we're all struggling with to certain degrees. And it's absolutely understandable because it's such an unprecedented situation in our lifetime anyway. It was something that none of us have had to deal with before. So, bound to be...
very scary, isn't it? That anybody you could meet as, you know, there's this thing going on that is, you know, it's just horrible, really, isn't it? Something you'd never think would happen in our lifetime.
Yes, it is. You're not alone there, Karen. Not alone. Trudy says, I've missed the charity shops and my local crystal shop, but the queues have been crazy with thrifters too, and my favourite Welsh ice cream shop. There was a queue for at least half an hour. So gutting. Oh, no, I like the sound of the ice cream shop. But I guess the queues a lot are because they are being sensible and they're only letting so many people in the shops one at a time or two at a time, which is, I'm happy to do that if that's what it takes. I think that's very sensible. But there's a lot of things that we've been missing out on, definitely. But, you know, one of those things, I guess, that we've had to do. Diane says, I'm concerned that I'll find myself continuing to be overly cautious even when it becomes no longer necessary to be so restricted. I agree, Diane. I absolutely agree. I was thinking about that this morning. When will we stop worrying about it? At what point does the fear go? I think it might take some time, to be honest, particularly once, you know, whilst we're still having to wear masks or doing the whole social distancing when we're out and all the good old hand sanitizer. I think it might be a while. Hopefully it won't become the norm that's what we do. But I think it is going to take a while. But there's some magic stuff you can do to help, obviously, as witches, pagans, druids, whatever we are, magical workers. We do have a little bit of advantage, I think, because we do have our witches toolkit. So we can work with crystals or spell pouches, magical herbs, talismans to boost our self-confidence, to boost our courage. And of course, one of the very basic skills, shielding. I think that is going to become something that we switch on automatically as soon as we step outside the door at the moment.
Anyway,
is to work with your shield to not necessarily, I mean, beforehand, we may have used it to protect ourselves from the negative energy coming from others, but I think more so now we'll be shielding to give ourselves a bit of a boost of confidence. Really, I think so anyway. But I think that's one of the basic things that we can work with.
You can fill your bubble with anything that you want. So once you've got your bubble up, you can actually fill it with, I feel confident, I feel safe.
Yep, the intent or even a colour that you associate with it, can't you, as well? You can fill your protective bubble, definitely. Melanie says, yes, plants and witchy stuff. Yeah, we missed that. We missed that. Plants, witchy stuff, and charity shops. That's kind of my list.
And coffee and cake inside.
Oh, yes. Coffee and cake, not sitting outside freezing cold. Would be lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Right, Maria has said, And I'm like to have a quick thank you to Pixie Pete, who is behind the scenes popping these questions up. Thank you. It's very, very useful, because otherwise it's really small and I can't see it properly. Maria was naughty. Oh, quelle surprise. Went to Primark. Actually, my daughter and her fiance went to Primark too, which was particularly empty in the middle of the week. Yes, I think my daughter went on Tuesday and she said it wasn't too bad. I think many have had the idea that it'll be really busy in the first week. So they'll, oh yes, next week. They might have missed it this week. Let's leave it a week and catch up. Might be really busy next week.
Yeah, and wait for the kids to go back to school next
Oh, of course,
week.
yes, because the children are on half term in England at the moment as well, aren't they? We knew you're naughty, Mary. You're always naughty. So that's not a big Barbara says, I have had both vaccines. Yay! I've had one so far. I think, Heather, you've had both yours, haven't you? You had both yours? Yes. I think the rest of us have had our first ones, haven't we? I've had both vaccines. Still believe it's essential to wear a mask and follow social distancing. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, with you on. I think it's just something we've got to do, at least for the next while, until we're over the majority of it. We're getting there.
It protects you from other people, but wearing the mask is protecting them from you. I think that's what people don't always understand.
If you've had the vaccine,
wearing the mask is keeping it within you, so you're protecting. So it's respectful.
Yeah.
Look at it from that point. Yeah. Wearing a mask is respectful because you are respecting other people, whereas distancing is what is actually protecting you from them.
Right. Mm. And that's our medical advice. Oh, Princess Heather has spoken, so
it's like when people say about masks, and I'm like, hey, what? Because we wear them, all the time.
Yes, yes. As a medical professional, you literally live in them anyway. Right, I'm just pinging back up here to. Yes, Melissa says mask people on programs is odd. I know it's in keeping, isn't it? And I don't know. Maybe it's even protecting them. Maybe they're not just wearing them to keep up with current situation. Maybe they are wearing the masks on set to protect themselves, literally in reality. So yes, I have to admit that has been a little bit strange, but that's fine. Sue says self-care techniques for panic anxiety are essential. Absolutely. And I will go through some in a second. Lots of comments. I've got a big pile of crystals here, and we've got some herbs and things that we can talk to you about. But I think your shield has got to be, your psychic shield has got to be your first port of call, really. It's easily done. You don't need anything with you, and you can do it wherever you are. So your shield is definitely the first thing. Melissa says, at outdoor nature parks, you're supposed to masks, but you're outside. I don't understand that. If you're outside, you're all right generally, aren't you? Unless there's other people around. So I think it's just being cautious, isn't it? Which is erring on the side of caution. Which, who am I to say? Who am I to say? Maria says, think our minds aren't equipped for being under this kind of stress for so long. Yeah, so it looks for some sort of normalcy, for comfort. Yes, it is unprecedented, isn't it? I mean, let's face it, I'd rather have the pandemic than live through the Second World War. Let's be honest. I would much rather wear a mask and be at home and social distance than live through the Second World War or something like that. So I think from that point of view, in the scale of things, it's doable. But we aren't equipped for it. We aren't equipped to deal with that kind of stress. So I guess we build up barriers or ways of dealing with it. And sometimes that does express itself as anxiety or panic attacks or being stressed, which leads to physical illnesses as well. That's me. Yeah, absolutely. We aren't equipped for it at all. Melanie says, I'm lucky my crystal shop is also my health store. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's do some crystals. You've led me into a nice segue there. Let's have a look at some crystals. I am going to put this up, otherwise my husband tells me off. Crystal magic. So I looked at crystals for confidence and courage. I don't know what you guys think, but those were the first two things that jumped out at me that you would need to carry with you, and literally just carry it with you. It doesn't need to be anything more complicated than that. So I went with courage ones, which I have in here somewhere. Let's turn the page. I don't know my alphabet, obviously. No, that's because I'm looking at confidence. Confidence. Moss agate is the first one.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's a nice earthy one, isn't it? Orange calcite, which is looks like a piece of raw salmon. It's not, obviously.
I love Rachel's names for crystals. If I'm ever in a crystal shop with Rachel, and she'll refer to it like, "Oh, that looks like such and such," and that makes.
What was that one in Glastonbury?
It was Ness's son John said, "Oh, look at that one," and I said, "It looks like squashed M&Ms." He didn't buy it after that, so I apologise to the crystal shop because he didn't purchase it. It looked like squashed M&Ms. I can't remember what it was.
I can't remember now, but yeah, like a piece of salmon, and it's brilliant.
I don't remember all the names. I make them up. My editor's always saying to me, "Is that one of your made-up words?"
I think it's brilliant. You should definitely carry on, because it makes me smile.
Or I do it with the gods as well, but sometimes they get their own back. Who did we work with down on the seashore? Oh, Poseidon.
Oh yes, fish boy.
Yes, Poseidon became fish boy, and I apologise to Poseidon. I meant no disrespect. I am going to be struck down by lightning. So
a large wave will come crashing over your head.
Carnelian. See, carnelian, proper word. Actually, I like carnelian, and I think for me that would probably be my go-to confidence stone. To me, that one really does shout confidence. You can put it in your pocket, you can hold it in your hand, you can put it in your handbag. If you feel a wave of panic or anxiety, really hold on to it and draw on the energy from the crystal, because it will provide you with what you need. Citrine is the next one.
That's nice.
Sunshiny yellow. Fluorite. I like fluorite, actually. I must admit,
it's pretty.
I tend to use that one for journeying and meditation quite a lot. I do like fluorite, but it is very good for confidence too.
So a mental cleanser as well.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I've got a fluorite skull, and that sort of helps with dispelling them.
Which would help
going on in your head,
wouldn't it? Yeah, to clear out that negative kind of thoughts. One of my favourites, goldstone.
That's pretty. I like that.
Yeah, I like goldstone, and I think that one is a real kind of, to me that's the drag queen stone. That's the I'm going to put this on with the sparkles, and it'll give me the confidence to just get out there and be fabulous. So drag queen stone is the gold.
It will now forever be known as drag queen stone.
One for Sue.
Oh, my favourite.
Labradorite. And I think this is where personality comes into it as well, doesn't it? Because I don't really work with Labradorite, but I know, Sue, it is your favourite one.
I use it for meditation and travelling, journeying.
That wouldn't be my first go-to for anything, really, to be honest, because I don't use it very often. So I think you have to have that personal connection with it, and it has to mean it for you. So I'm listing things that are traditionally good confidence. You might think, oh no, I don't like that one. You might go with something completely different. So this is just to get you started, really. Another very pretty one, Lapis Lazuli, which has got the best name. Very pretty. That's got a bit of sparkle too. Pyrite, bit of fool's gold. See that one? That one and goldstone, and you'd have your complete drag queen outfit with you. And I think for me, again, that is another one that says I can do this. This is just give me the sparkly, powerful boost that I need, and I can do this. Rhodochrosite and rhodochrosite and rhodonite, which are both very, very similar stones. That's rhodonite, and that's rhodochrosite. How do I know? Because it's got a label on the back. Honestly, I don't remember all of these, and these two are very easy to get confused, I think, anyway. So if there's one that I'm not very sure of, or if I haven't worked with very much, I put a label on them, and then it reminds me.
It's a good idea.
A bit of a shock, I know, but I'm not perfect.
Where do you get your teeny labels from?
They are little tiny stationery shops. You get a sheet with all the little tiny ones on them, little dots, or I cut up a big label.
Yeah.
Sodalite,
Yeah.
which is another really pretty one. And Unakite, which I really, it sounds like a Star Trek baddie, Unakite for some reason. But I really like that one. Those ones are all really good for confidence. Again, you might find something that you work with better. They're also very good for courage. I also want to add in for courage, tiger's eye. And I've got a raw piece and a polished piece there. It's tiger's eye. It's got the strength and the courage and the roar of a tiger. So for me, that just gives you that kind of grr, let's go for it. And I think as well, black stones. So we've got a nice obsidian there. I don't know what these are. And a tourmaline. Nice black tourmaline too. Both of those are really good courage. But go with what works for you. You could charge a pebble or a shell with your intent for courage or confidence. Carry it with you. You could also use a little pouch of some sort, fill it with herbs and foods. Lots of herbs and foods for confidence, courage. You could make your own little confidence spell pouch. Put crystals in it, you could put herbs in it. Make it for your own use, really. Things like salt, black pepper, chilies, I've got here, benzoin and fennel, both really good for confidence. Just, I think, fiery stuff, the real kind of paprika and things like that have got that real oomph to them, that would give you that courage and that confidence. And you could make yourself a little bag, charge it and carry it with you. And then if you get in a situation, you could draw on the bag for that kind of energy. My suggestions anyway. You might have other thoughts. Let's have a look at some of the comments.
Saying about just you can always sort of paint something, a word or something on a pebble and carry that if you don't, have any particular crystals to hand.
Definitely.
You say charge it.
Sue says, as an empath, I definitely feel the heightened emotions and fear people going out are projected. I think for any empath, and I think most of us, if you're on this pathway, you do pick up on stuff very easily, on other people's emotions and energies. You pick up on the fear that other people are projecting. I think that's where it is really important to bring your personal psychic shields up so that you aren't picking up on other people's, but also so that you aren't projecting your own fears out there onto others as well. So your psychic shielding is key, I think, for me. Very, very key. Definitely.
Yeah.
Lily says, yes, it's strange to see masks on TV. This pandemic has caused a strange and extraordinary shift in our way of life. It's like we've been living in an episode of the Twilight Zone. Yes. However, I hear the environment has benefited. Yes, let's hope that positive trend continues. Get your second vaccine tomorrow. Excellent. Yes, I think the environment has definitely benefited. I think just small things, really. There's less cars on the road, with more people now working from home for a start. Lots of little different ways, I think, where the environment has, and lots of people have taken up gardening as well, which is brilliant. That in itself has been a bit of a saviour. My garden, although it's not huge, has been even more of a sanctuary during the lockdown than it ever was before, along with baking, which is why we got bigger and bigger and bigger, because all I kept doing was baking. Lots and lots of baking. Diane says, it was so sad to see the Queen yesterday on her own and wearing her mask. Poor Queenie. Absolute heart goes out to her, and utmost respect for Prince Philip. He was a dude, let's face it. He was a politically incorrect dude, and I think he's absolutely wonderful. But the things that he lived through and the things that he did, he was a superstar. But I did want to give the Queen a big hug yesterday, bless her. But also hats off to them for following the regulations. They stuck to them, even though as royalty they probably could have got away with doing it, but they didn't. They absolutely stuck to the regulations.
They would have been pulled apart, wouldn't they? I think if they hadn't done it.
Bless her. Maria, I think I will put a protective bubble up next time I'm at the self-checkout, as I'm literally raging against the machine. Yes.
Those machines do have a mind of their own, though.
Yes. Oh, yes. Anything with a computer in it's got a mind of its own. Definitely.
I take my own bag and it tells me to put it in the bagging area to start with, so I do. Then it tells me there's an unexpected item in the bagging area and I need to call an assistant. I'm like, that's the bag.
Yeah.
I understand, Maria, definitely.
The computers are all laughing at us. Barbara says, my crystal collection has grown much in the last year. Mine hasn't. Mine suffered, actually, because we haven't been out and about. I'm sure we'll make up for it. I'm sure we'll make up for it in no time at all. Trudy says, I'm selfish saying this, but as a lot of people seem to love a life of crowds and chaos, I'm not that way. As things move forward, my woods and local pathways will become quieter again. Yay, solitude with nature. It's been like the M4 of late. Not selfish at all, Trudy. Absolutely. I think we all echo that, particularly perhaps as pagans, we do all value our space in nature. I think on the plus side, the fact that a lot more people have got out and appreciated nature and gardening and being outside, but with that comes all of the rubbish and things that not everybody actually treats nature as it should be. We hear you, Trudy, absolutely. Maria says malachite helps me for some reason. Why not? If it works for you, Maria, go for it. I love malachite, actually. It's a beautiful stone, isn't it? Right, let's see where we're at. Melanie says, fluorite crystals have really helped me. That is a beautiful crystal as well. You've got to go with what works for you. Definitely got to go with what works for you. They've all got their own, for want of a better word, standard meanings and correspondences, but each stone will have its own unique personality and it has its own energy field. And that, just like you might get on with some people and you might not get on with others, exactly the same with crystals. There will be some that you connect with and others that you don't. I can't work with hematite. It's just, to me, it's very heavy and oppressive. I can't work with it at all. Other things, absolutely fine. So yeah, it's they've all got personalities, so you have to work with it. Melissa says, ditto as well with my essential oil supplies. Again, lots of essential oils that would be really good to make into an oil blend to carry with you, and maybe dab on your pulse points if you're feeling completely overwhelmed by something, or in that kind of situation. Put some essential oil mix in a little pot with some salt or some sand, carry it with you, and when you feel a bit overwhelmed or anxiety hits you, take the lid off and have a quick sniff of your essential oil blend to draw energy and to hopefully overcome the anxiety. That can help too. Melanie says, my green raw fluorite really helps when I get bad headaches. Excellent. I'm assuming you just hold it to your forehead. Brilliant. They are so useful for everything, aren't they? Hello to Carol. What's going on today? We're waffling today, waffling about self-care today, okay. Carol. I'm just scrolling up. Lani, I often work with yellow and orange crystals for positive energy and have been carrying one around with me since we were back in school in January. Yes, and I think colour magic works really well.
Say colour magic, yeah, is excellent.
You don't have to know the names, do you? You don't have to know what the crystal is or anything about it other than the colour draws you to it. And it makes you feel better. It might make you feel happier or more positive or stronger. Or yes, absolutely. I would trust your intuition when you're picking anything like that. Even if you're making a spell pouch or picking a crystal or anything, trust your intuition. You don't have to know the names of everything. You don't have to be able to reel off all the standard correspondences. If you're drawn to it, then go for it. Trust your intuition. It will not let you down. Barbara has been wearing a fluorite goddess pendant for a while now. That sounds
popular crystal, isn't it?
It is very pretty. I'm just pinging down here. Maria, I seem to always have tiger's eye in my bags. I think there is quite often, isn't there, one stone that you find that you use over and over again for all different things. Tiger's eye is brilliant. It's got so many different uses for it. Brilliant. If if it works for you, go for it. Helen, I've been wearing blue tiger's eye for courage and relief of stress at work. Brilliant. And of course, tiger's eye doesn't just come in brown. It comes in red and blue and I want to say green. You get green ones as well. I think it comes in various different shades, doesn't it? Very, very pretty stone. I like that one too. Joe, I use the crystals I'm drawn to at the time. I have found they are the ones I need at the time, even if they aren't traditionally used for. Yes, that is absolutely. Yeah, that's how we here all work, Joe. Trust your intuition and use whatever comes. I find I don't look things up. I just think of my intent and whatever crystal jumps out at me. Not literally, because that'd be really scary. Crystals started jumping out of the boxes. Cool, but scary. Yeah, trust your intuition because it'll be the right one. It will be the right one. Carol, if a witch lost a tiger's eye, where would it be? It will have moved on, Carol. I don't know about you guys, but crystals have a habit of disappearing. Sometimes they move on to other people. Other times they hide because they're not needed at the moment, and then they'll suddenly reappear somewhere really stupid. Yes, absolutely. With crystals, I find that quite a lot. They have a habit of going wandering. Although Maria says check the Hoover. Yes, do check the Hoover. Yeah, you do find that they do go wandering sometimes. Try and not think about it, and if it's meant to come back, it will. Joe, I created a workplace bag of crystals to help deal with the clients and situations. I think with crystals as well, they are quite useful in the workplace because you can have a crystal sitting on your desk without anybody questioning. If you had a poppet there with, pins and things stuck in it, people might question you. But if you've got a crystal on your desk, it can be there to soak up negative energy or to protect you against issues going on or whatever you need it for in the office, just to put positive energy in the office, you can keep them at work without people questioning them. So yeah, they are a really good idea. Let's just scrolling. Barbara, I have made crystal intention bowls and placed by my front door. Lots of black for protection and stones for positive energy. I think having a dish of bowl or a bowl of crystals by the door is brilliant, because people pass it coming in, don't they? And then they pass it going out as well. So they carry that energy into the house. It's a bit like making them walk through a detector of some sort, isn't it? As you come in the house, you get scanned. Right, let's take all the negative energy about that person. Yep, you're good to go. Yeah, very good idea. Definitely.
Probably be more better than sort of smudging them as they come in.
Waffling everyone with smoke.
Yeah.
Lani says, I found one under my bed today. I hope you mean a crystal, because that could be anything.
Oh, yes.
I found a bobber under my bed today. Hadn't seen in a long time while I was having a cleanse and sort out. They disappear and then they reappear. Definitely. They do have wandering spirit. Definitely. Melissa, I bought a £3 box of crystals and most are gone, but not sure where. Wow. I once had a black protection stone leap out of my hand after a particularly difficult situation. With £3 box of crystals going missing, Melissa, I reckon you ought to appease the fae. You might want to leave out some offerings for the fairies, because it sounds like with £3 of them going missing that there's something a little bit straight there.
They're having those way, aren't they? Definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, I would do something about that. The other thing, of course, is to do things that you enjoy doing. I like to bake. It's my escape, really. Look, self-care.
Oh, there it is.
Look. Double chocolate condensed milk cookie to hand.
Oh, that sounds.
But that's for
nice?
me. They are lovely. Yes, and I made some caramel condensed milk ones as well. It's my escape. It takes me to where I am happiest. That or gardening, really. And I think self-care is about taking time out to do things for yourself. It might be small things, and I absolutely know and understand as a working mother that sometimes we don't get much peace and quiet, particularly if your children are young. Even resorting to locking yourself in the bathroom for 10 minutes just for a bit of meditation. I think meditation is key as well. If you can make some time, beginning or end of the day when it's quiet, just to meditate, even if it's just for 5 minutes, it gives you that little bit of extra self-care and time to yourself. Because you've got to look after yourself. Otherwise, you're not going to be in a good place to look after other people, and you're not going to be in a good energy state to get back out there. And I am very, very aware that my husband's listening to all this because I am the worst person for self-care ever. I do have a habit of taking on too much and running myself down until the universe smacks me on the head and knocks me off my feet. But I'm trying.
We all say we told you so.
Yes, yeah, I am trying to be better at it. And you do have to look after yourself. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to cope with everything that is thrown at you. But I think you've also got to understand that everyone is pretty much in the same boat to varying degrees. We're all working through it. We're all going through it. So lean on each other as well. Particularly, I think, with the internet these days, there is always someone that will listen. There's always someone that will say, yep, I'm going through the same thing. This is how I deal with it. Or how about doing this? Or how about doing that? So remember that you aren't ever alone as well. Reach out. Always reach out. There's always someone that will listen. And usually someone that's either going through it or been through it. We're in this together, folks. For good or for bad, we're in it together.
We've done this offline, just as friends. You know, because we can't meet up. We've got on
That's
Zoom,
really helped me.
the four of us, and just vented and
I know when I need to
worried
see
about.
my friends.
We've had sanity Zoom chats.
Yeah, definitely.
Sanity.
I think the last one we talked for about 3 hours, didn't we?
Yeah, they're not called Waffling Witches for nothing.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things, isn't it? With one of the good things that's come out of all this is technology, is the ability to connect. Let's bear in mind that we don't even live in the same towns as each other. A couple of hours drive from me to Heather. So it's enabled us to stay together and keep together and lean on each other by using the internet, which is brilliant. And for me, that's a good thing that's come out of it. And the online chats and talks and workshops and things we've been able to do as well, reaching people across the globe, really, which again, wouldn't have been able, you know, if I do a talk at an event, it's really only people that are fairly local to the event that I can connect with. This way, I can connect with people anywhere, wherever they are. So for me, that's a positive that's come out of it all, is the connections that have been made. Definitely. Lani's got back into knitting. I'll take my hat off to you, Lani. I can't knit to save my life. Started a scarf. That's probably about all I'd be able to make, Lani, but I would just carry on and on and on and on and on because I can't cast off. It would be a Tom Baker scarf and it would go in and out like that.
How fabulous would that be? That'd be an awesome scarf, though, definitely. You just need someone to cast off for you eventually.
You'd wear it with the knitting needles still on the end. I think a lot of people seem to have got into crafts as well. Wow. But then, again, that's another positive thing to come out of it. People have found things or talents or creative things to keep their mind active.
I think it's trying to take the small positives, isn't it? Build on those and work with those, even if they don't seem much. They are, you know, they will help.
Barbara says, I so appreciate these chats and Rachel's Friday chat. Thank you. It means a lot. Oh, we love doing them. It's been fantastic. And we will, all the time that people rock up and ask for them, we will continue to do them. My Friday morning chats, I will continue to do all the time that there are people there listening. But for me as well, it has been a lifeline. I love my Friday mornings. It is the highlight of my week. And I think we've all made new friends. We haven't met them yet. Some of them we may never meet because they live on the other side of the planet, but we've all made new friends throughout this as well. And it's been brilliant to make those kind of connections. Sue says, sewing is my happy place. And Sue makes some fantastic creations as well.
He really does.
Have a look for if you have a look on Facebook for Craft Wife, Sue makes some fantastic things, and on Etsy, I think, isn't it? Very, very clever. And Melanie is about to paint a crystal and seed box. Excellent. I have just invested in a box to keep all my essential oils in, I must admit. A nice wooden box from Freya's Cauldron, which is perfect. Because I had amassed quite a lot. But yes, I think remember your shield. It's really easy to do. It's really important and it's really useful. Work with crystals, work with herb pouches, spell pouches. We've got the tools. We've got the means to draw on magic and to draw on energy from Mother Earth, to give ourselves courage and confidence and protect ourselves while we're out there. So use all of your witchy talents and that magical witch toolkit to boost your confidence, to be able to get back out there. But also remember that self-care is really important. I think as well, I love sound baths. Absolutely love sound baths. We've been to some fantastic ones with enormous gongs and crystal balls in it, but we haven't been able to do that. And I've found quite a lot on YouTube. It's not quite the same. But I not lay down on the bed and put a speaker at my feet or put my earphones in with my mobile phone and play the music through that. And I've been able to give myself some time and a fairly decent sound bath just by using things that I've got available to me. So it is about making time for yourself to do the things that you like to do as well, because you can't keep running full pelt 100% of the time. It doesn't work. Lily made spellcasting magical beeswax coconut votives yesterday. Candle making.
They sound nice.
They sound lovely. I tried candle making. I ruined lots of saucepans. So I think it's a very special skill. So fantastic. They do. They sound lovely. Karen, I do sound baths. I love doing them. Oh, fabulous. They are one of my favorite things. I think there's something very, very magical about the sound baths. The way that the sound waves wash over you from the gongs particularly is amazing. Really, really healing, I think. Fantastic. So we've waffled for an hour, which is not a big surprise. I think I've waffled mostly for an hour because I talk lots. These guys know that they have to actually fight for it if they want to say anything.
Wait, jump in.
You need a talkie stick, or like put your hand up.
Wave it, let me talk.
Well, it's strange actually, because a couple of times I've gone to say something and you've said it. I'm like, yeah.
I'm making now. Yeah, we're on the same wavelength now, aren't we? So yeah, now I can talk with cookie in my mouth. Self-care, okay? Know that we're here to all of you guys. We will do whatever we can to help if anybody's struggling. And draw on your witchy stuff. Even if you're just learning, even if you're just beginning, work with crystals, work with herbs, trust your intuition, and it will guide you to what you need to do. But if you need any help, just reach out on the Kitchen Witch Facebook group. It's a fantastic group. We have got such a lovely group of people on there who are all willing to help and support each other. So know that you're never alone. If you're struggling with anything, just shout. I want to thank everyone that has joined us for our online rituals. Got another one for Beltane coming up, haven't we? In this group. It's on the events in the group there. So do join us for that. We have regular Waffling Witches. I do my regular Friday morning talk over on my author page. We're always there to answer questions, but I would love to thank everyone that actually has joined us for all of these onlines, whether it's the Kitchen Witch ones or my own. It has been fantastic to make all those connections and support each other, which has been absolutely brilliant. We will continue to do them for all the time. Oh, look. Peter the Pixie has put up the Beltane ritual. If anyone's never seen him, I call him Peter the Pixie, but he's 6'3".
I'm going to say, that's the bit that makes me laugh.
He's the Pixie. So thank you to everyone, really. We enjoy doing them, and all the time that you're rocking up, we will continue to do them. So that's kind of it today. Unless anyone has any last minute questions, we will hang about for a second. Other than that, I will see anyone next Friday morning that would like to join me for that. I will see you at the Beltane online ritual. There will be another Waffling Witches at some point. We will organise. Yes, we will. Ness holds the diary. Ness is diary organizer, so we will, for all the Kitchen Witch students, we will get a date for a Zoom put in the diary.
We'll try and get one for next month. I'm sure we can fit one in May. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So other than that, thank you all very much. Do have a very, very lovely weekend. And stay safe, basically. Hang on in there. We'll get through this. We will get through this. Definitely. Thank you to everyone that's saying thank you. Thank you right back at you. Maria, we wish you to. Maria, there are a couple of London bookstores that I'm going to arrange talks at, book signings in at some point when it's all back to normal. So we will be coming your way, but hopefully we'll sort out something before that anyway. So thank you to everyone and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.